Good evening. This is the special coverage of the coronavirus crisis using the combined forces of News 5 and Signal TV's One News, Radio 5, and One PH. The Islamic Advisory Council of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao has temporarily suspended Friday prayers to curb the risks of COVID-19 infection. Friday prayers will be halted for 3 weeks from March 19 to April 10. All congregational prayers in small and big mosques in the BARM will also be suspended. The National Union of Journalists in the Philippines, or the NUJP, is asking Malacañang to reconsider its decision to have media organizations accredited first before being allowed to cover the Luzon-wide enhanced community quarantine. We will hear directly from the chairman of the NUJP, Nonoy Espina, who joins us over the phone. Nonoy Espina, can you hear us?
Yes, good evening, Ed, and good evening to all the viewers of the...
Okay, good evening, Nonoy.
Yes.
Tell us the reasons for the objection of several media groups and several media persons dun sa accreditation process.
In the first place, it's an unreasonable imposition, no? Because we, for all our careers, we've operated only with our press cards. You know? We've covered, all of us have covered disasters, crises, conflicts, and no one's ever asked us to be for accreditation. From what I know is we can be accredited for one-off affairs like covering the president's presidential visit or stuff like that. Pero everyday coverage, our press credentials are sufficient. So why do we have to submit ourselves to accreditation by the Presidential Communications Operations Office, which in fact is not even, doesn't even have authority over us because it's the communication arm of government. It's not a regulatory body or anything. So parang okay. And this is a crisis. This is a continuing story. What all of us, all media houses have taken precautions. I know a lot of our colleagues have been, working from home and skeleton staff and all that. But it's also up to the outfits to determine who to deploy, who to pull out, and having to accredit them, having to have everyone accredited, and it could wreak havoc on your priorities and your it's your right to determine how to best deploy, because there's some confusion on the guidelines. There's a lack of clarity because they say they will be issuing passes to reporters on the beats.
Okay.
But we all know that beats are subject to shifting and subject to change. No one permanently covers a beat.
Okay.
There's a lot of there.
Accreditation by itself gives the accrediting authority the authority to decide who gets to cover and who does not.
Yes.
Is there any concern there on your part?
Yes. Talagang that's also problematic because it actually deprives us of the right to determine who among us should be covering what. And what if we all know that this administration has been so hostile to a lot of media outfits and to a lot of individual journalists? And what if they deny your accreditation? What happens then? Does that mean you cannot cover? And then that's really trampling on our right as journalists to cover events, and that's an assault on press freedom.
Okay, now since you bring that up, for example, some organizations have been under fire from the president. Rappler, for example, has not been given accreditation by Malacañang to cover presidential activities. Would you know if, for example, Rappler would be granted accreditation by the PCOO?
Well, actually, that's an interesting question, and I actually don't know the answer to that. But I do know that I think Rappler will be applying for accreditation, and it would be interesting to see if they will be granted accreditation or not, given that the president himself has banned them from coverage. You know? So let's see how this thing develops.
Because as far as I can remember, or at least what I can remember from that incident 2 years ago, the palace position on Rappler was that it is not a media organization.
Yeah, oo nga, because in fact they wanted the Rappler reporters to be classified with the bloggers when they tried to give accreditation to bloggers. So let's see how that how that plays out, you know? And that should be an interesting development if somehow they do try to restrict. Because you shouldn't be restricting anyone at this point, especially media. Our job is to bring information to the people, and any restriction that will hamper our work will be depriving the people of the information that they need to not only to update themselves on the situation, but the information they need to actually cope and survive the crisis. So nakakatakot if they if they put up obstacles on our way and hamper our work. That will anything that detracts from press freedom will always be to the disadvantage of the people.
Okay, but on the other hand, if you look at the other side of the coin, Malacañang or the PCOO could argue that there is a need to make sure that only those who are what they would call legitimate media, what some would call legitimate media, go out in the field and cover during this time of a quarantine. I would imagine na sasabihin, for example, na yung mga hausyaw o yung mga bigla na lang sumulpot, bigla magko-cover.
Well, yung hausyaw naman, we're not saying naman na we be given carte blanche to do whatever we want. You know? We know this is a health crisis, and we know that there are risks involved, and we know that there will be some restrictions on our movement and behavior, but not on our right to decide if we can cover or not. I mean, if health authorities say, bawal kayong pumasok sa bahay na naka-quarantine, of course, we're not going to go in. Di ba? Pero kasi na hindi ka pwedeng kumover doon, ibang usapan yan. No? And they can always, if there are rules that we break, there are also sanctions that they can impose. But they have no right, actually. They have no right to determine who can and who cannot cover. Nakakatakot yun.
Okay.
Because
but do you foresee this as becoming a legal issue? Is it something that could end up in court or even to the Supreme Court?
Well, I hope not. I do hope that they, I hope they share a point, no? Because, granted that we know that a lot of media outfits and a lot of our colleagues have actually applied and been given accreditation, but I also know that there are some who have been denied, although I'm not at liberty to divulge who. But I mean, for the flimsy reason, like because you're not a field journalist. What's a field journalist? All journalists go into the field, or some are assigned to the desk. So it's kind of it's ridiculous to say that because you man the desk, you can't be accredited because you don't go out in the field. Because who knows? Baka bukas ikaw ang papupuntahin sa field. So there has to be clarity to this. And the thing is, it is up to the media outfits. It is up to the media outfits to determine who should cover or not, or who should be pulled out and assigned somewhere else. It's not for government to tell us if we can or not.
Okay, maraming salamat. Nonoy Espina, Chairman of the NUJP. Thank you for joining us. The city government of Las Piñas has apologized for their relief distribution on Wednesday after residents affected by the enhanced community quarantine gathered at City Hall. Netizens criticized the local government for failing to observe social distancing. The city government will now distribute relief goods and supplies directly to the homes. And that's the latest on the enhanced and expanded community quarantine in Luzon. For more updates, follow News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. I'm Edwin Gao. We are One News.